someone says to me, I stopped smoking, it's been 8 days. And I say, why are you counting? So you can tell people how long you lasted this time? If I went to somebody and I said to you, hey, Louis, you want a cigarette? You're not gonna say, what brand is it? You go, no, right. I'm not a smoker. Notice how people, I'm not one of those. That's not my identity.
What's up, guys? It's Mr. Fit to Flourish, and today I wanted to talk about the billionaire code. And I wanted to talk about the dichotomy between where you currently are now, which is probably like in lack, fear, worst shape of your life maybe, etc., financially poor, mentally poor, spiritually poor, all that good stuff, to how can we get to that billionaire mindset, living in abundance, not having to worry about money just being a tool that you use, and being able to afford everything you've ever wanted, to be where you want to be, doing the things you've always wanted to do. And we talk about this a lot on this channel. Again, I'm usually on my 10K run. I'm about to go on my 10K run or 10K steps, whatever you want to call it. I usually do 5 to 6 miles a day. Anyways, we talk about trading on this channel. We talk about fitness, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, all that good stuff. Let's get right into it. So this morning, woke up and was doing a lot of kind of meditating, thinking, and reading, right? And I got into this thing of, what's separating me from getting to where I want to be? Where do I want to be? I want to be in that billionaire status, okay? I've made quite a bit of money in my lifetime, and I've gotten pretty much everything that I've ever wanted to get, but now I'm like, what's next? Like, what's next, right? I've gotten all the girls, I've gotten the house, the cars, the friends, everything, right? And now I want to go to the next step. So what's next? How do we get there? And how do we get there from where we are? And most people are not specifically above average, right? Most people aren't working out, or most people aren't reading. Most people aren't having that 6-figure to 7-figure to 8-figure job, right? And luckily, I'm one of those people who are above average when it comes to physically, spiritually, mentally, financially, all that good stuff. But I wasn't always there. Not at all, okay? Your boy was cooked, all right? But why do we get cooked? Why are we cooked? And how can we get uncooked, so to speak? How do we get that billionaire code? So I wrote a few things down that I kind of wanted to talk about in the journal. This journal looks pretty fire, but in the journal. So let's talk about where we are and how to get to where we want to be, right? So currently, we are in an area of lack. We're in an area where we're always wanting something. We're always wanting something. We always have these desires. And because we have these desires, we are always chasing, okay? And I always talk about how ancient philosophy and ancient text, it talks about the whole idea of if you are chasing something, that means that inevitably something is running away from you. So you now identify as the chaser, which means there is something in front of you that is escaping, okay? And as long as you identify in your mind as the chaser, then something will always be escaping you. And you will always feel like, dang, I almost had him. Kind of like playing cat and mouse, okay? So you need to get rid of that mindset. So a lot of books talk about how you need to be nonchalant, or philosophies talk about being nonchalant, or being unattached, right? Detached, be detached. And that stuff can be confusing, but the real meaning of being detached is you need to let go of your desires in that desperate sense. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, when you're desiring something, it's okay to desire something. Like, desires are natural. But when you desire something, you need to desire it in the sense of knowing that you have that desire because it's something that you can have, not because you're desiring it because you can't have it. So when you think of a desire, you need to forget about thinking that you cannot have that thing. Like, I want to be Beyonce's husband, right? But then immediately your mind goes, well, you can't have that because she's richer than you, she looks better than you. This is like, you create all these excuses of why you can't have it. When you have your desires, you need to have it as just a thought of like, oh, it would be cool to have this thing. And that is where that ends. But in the same sense, you have that desire because it's something that you can achieve in this lifetime. And that's the only reason that came to you. But instead of always having these desires of things you want to have, like, oh, I want this, you need to get rid of your unhealthy desires, okay? And those unhealthy mindsets. So I wrote this down. I said, hey, you need to get rid of your desires now before it kills you. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to minimize like the thrill seeking, okay? Because essentially you're going to get stuck in kind of this hamster wheel. So minimize that thrill seeking, because every time you have a desire, it releases these neurotransmitters that cause this big burst of energy, like, oh, I want that, oh, I want that, right? These cravings, right? And then that also is similar to drug seeking habits, alcohol seeking habits, thrill seeking habits. So quick fixes. It's always going to trigger the same neurotransmitter that some of these quick fix type of things will trigger. So you need to get rid of those unhealthy desires, okay? Desires of things that you know are like physically, almost physically impossible to get, but you're still having those desires like, oh, I want this, I want that, oh, I want this. Because it's going to keep you in that mindset of chasing and that thrill seeking kind of a mindset. So that feeling of want, like always wanting something, if you're always wanting something, something that you feel like you can't have, or something like you're always craving, oh, I want some fast food, oh, I want this, you're going to start going to things that are quick fixes, because that feeling is so strong of like, oh, I want this, oh, I want that. You're going to start trying to get these little things that you can get, because you're like, oh, I can't get that, well, I'm going to get this. So what's easy to get? Probably a $10 bottle of alcohol, or a dime bag of weed, or some Coke or something, I don't know, alcohol, right? So the feeling of want is strong and it's toxic, and it releases hormones that are addictive, okay? So that feeling of having is, the feeling of having something already is small and non-excitatory. For instance, like if you had the car you've always wanted, that Ferrari, once you have it and you've had it for like a couple days, like at first you're like, oh man, I got the Ferrari, oh man, like, right? Because you've always wanted it. So that feeling is extremely large. And then once you get it, like it's like non-excitatory. So people get wrapped up in that hamster wheel of always wanting something. So then that's really essentially what's holding you back, because you get so addicted to the feeling of wanting that once you actually have things, it's like not exciting. So then you stay in that state of lack. You stay in that chasing state because you want to feel that chase, and you have to get rid of that desire, because then it's going to hold you back from where you've always wanted to be. And where you've always wanted to be is going to be a lot more fulfilling than where you currently are, obviously. But many people self-sabotage because many people self-sabotage as their body attempts to avoid change in order to continue to not get what it wants. And you do this subconsciously, okay? So it can continue to experience that hormonal release from craving or desiring a thing, right? You're gonna continue to be like, oh, I want that thing on. And it's a big release of energy of like, oh, I want this. And then once you have it, it's like, oh, well, I have it. Did you really want it, or did you just want that feeling? Okay, did you just want that feeling? We always talk about like how things can, things don't cause you to feel, you cause you to feel. So for instance, again, you might want that special person, that SP, or you might want that Ferrari, right? But essentially, those aren't the things that are gonna make you happy. Only you can make you happy. So you are placing a condition on reality. You're saying, I will not be happy until I have that Ferrari. So then when you get the Ferrari, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm smiling. When you could actually just choose to smile now. You could smile now, and then when you get the Ferrari, you could choose to be mad, right? It's a choice. But essentially, what emotions are you feeling? We're always chasing emotions, okay? We're not chasing items. We're always chasing emotions. So when you feel those emotions now, and whatever you associate those emotions with, that's gonna be what you're going to get, okay? So for instance, if you associate happiness with having a Ferrari, well, if you become happy now, then you'll get a Ferrari. But if you associate happiness with having a Ferrari and you choose to be mad, then obviously those are two completely different spectrums. So you will never have that Ferrari, okay? So you're basically the controller, you're the remote control for your reality, okay? So you will only change. So after all of this, like you're always gonna be in that wanting state, right? So you're gonna be self-sabotaging yourself Also, you could just feel that wanting. You could get that high energy and emotion of, oh, I want this thing, oh, I want this thing, right? You're gonna be addicted to, oh, wanting this thing. So then you're gonna go get these quick fixes, alcohol, to get yourself out of your current reality. You're gonna go eat that fast food. You're not gonna work out. You're not gonna do the things that you need to be doing in order to get there, because you're gonna be so blinded, okay, by that emotion. But essentially, you're only going to change and you're only going to do the things that you need to do. You're going to stop chasing once you hit rock bottom. And these are the only two times. Once you hit rock bottom, or once you realize that this self-sabotaging state that you're in is purely an addiction to the craving, an addiction to the feeling of wanting something. All right. So I kind of wrote that down, and I was like, are people really wanting to be a person, or are they addicted to the thought of having a thing? And just the thought, like people just want that thought. They just want to crave something, right? And they don't want to actually take action. So that was the thought process there. So really, this is part one of a series I'm gonna do, and it's called the Billionaire Code. All right, this is part one. It might be 3 or 4 or 5 parts maybe, but essentially, get away from that lack state by stopping all that craving that you're doing. Okay, I'm not saying you need to meditate. Meditating can help, but you're gonna see in the next video how I talk about you don't need to meditate. You don't need to do anything. You just need to become. You need to transform your identity mentally. All right, don't be the chaser. Okay, mentally, don't be the chaser. The chaser is always going after something, or like always like, oh, I'm grinding. Like I don't like saying I'm grinding anymore. I used to say that, oh, we grind. No, I'm being. Okay, I am the person who does the thing. So, hey, what are you doing? Hey, I'm being the highest version of myself. That's who I am, because there is nothing higher than that. And essentially, you don't want to be the chaser. You want to be the person who already has the thing. So if you're chasing that Ferrari, that means that you'll never get that Ferrari, because it's always it's always eluding you. But if you have it, then you're embodying the person that would have the thing. Anyways, your boy, Mr. Fit to Flourish, part 2 after this one. I'll see you next time.